So just shortly after I'd recorded F1 24/7, did the editing, then uploaded it, ready to go, news broke that the Canadian Grand Prix was gonna be postponed. It hasn't really come as a bit of a shock. It's kind of expected now. There's been many Grand Prix cancelled. This is the eighth Grand Prix either cancelled or postponed this year. France as of time of recording, is supposed to be the first race of the season, scheduled anyway, which, to be fair, the more this dwells on, the more I'm doubting that we're going to get as far as the British Grand Prix, to say the least. It's just another race that Formula One have got to try and get their heads around and try and reschedule it at some point. And to be honest with you, my personal opinion, that now this so-called, well, predicted super season that I mentioned a couple of weeks ago might actually go ahead. Ever since that recording, there's been a few rumours saying, there could be the potential that the 2020 season could go into 2021, which would make a lot of sense if Formula One do want to reschedule all these races, which if they're rescheduling, I don't know, about what, 6, 7 races apparently, then you're going to go into, well, you're going to be going into as far as January, because you've got the Christmas period going into December. There's only a couple of weeks between the scheduled end of the season and then the Christmas period. So yeah, there's a lot for Formula One to do as well. But yeah, it is the most sensible thing to do. I don't think anyone really expected it to go ahead. I'm again disappointed that we've got to wait until at least end of June, July, potentially that we could get Formula One back. But it's just another. Yeah, guys. I just want Formula One back. I really, really do. I know we can't at the moment. We've got to wait until everything's right, everything's calmed down. But as a fan, I'm just, man, I just really. This is like a literally raw emotion straight after the news. By the time you watch this, the episode's all ready to go, so you'll see it in a different kind of light. But I'm just so like, ugh, just really want the season to go ahead. I really do miss Formula One after being so excited for it coming back, and then for it to be cancelled last minute. All right, yes, safe thing to do, but that hit me hard. And now it's just getting like, oh god, yeah. I'll stop more and I'll let you watch the episode as well. But so obviously, yeah, Canada's now off the calendar, postponed, not cancelled, postponed. So we'll have to see what happens, where that race happens in the future, and of course the future of the other races coming up ahead. As we kind of heading into the summer break in quotation marks, and actually Formula One have actually extended their close down period by a further 2 weeks, which again, that came out as soon as I did F1 24/7. So to be fair, I should have done this a bit later, because there has been a lot of stories developing since then. But at least I've covered it, and of course you guys will enjoy it. But anyways, enjoy the episode, guys. Watch what you're doing, and I'll see you all next time. To be fair, if you look in Ricardo's eyes and he's fluttering your eyelids at you, I'm pretty sure if I was Vettel or Seb, yet another week without Formula One. It is getting tougher and tougher as we go days in weeks and potentially months without the sport that we love. But of course, we know the circumstances. However, we don't know when racing will be resuming. That's the only thing that's kind of keeping us down, I think. The fact that we don't know when the racing is going to resume, which is a bit of a shame. But in today's F1 24/7 news, one of the stories I'll be covering, which is first up, and you can tell by the title, is the potential of a country hosting an F1 Grand Prix again. And that country, if you haven't guessed already, is Portugal. Now, Portugal last hosted the Grand Prix back in 1996. Jacques Villeneuve was the winner of that particular Grand Prix. In the duration of the Portuguese Grand Prix, the last racetrack it was held at was Estoril, and that hosted it between 1984 and 1996. Now, there has been kind of rumours circulating in the past that Portugal will be making a return to the F1 calendar, whether that was a testing track or whether that was going to be held a full Grand Prix. There was loads of rumours, but it never really came out. However, this week the track, the Algarve circuit, which is in the south of Portugal, I believe, is just got this week a Grade 1 certificate by the FIA, which is the highest you can receive by the FIA, making it the safest, the best, and basically one of the best tracks in the world, essentially by grades, which means it can now host Formula One races. The check was carried out by the late Charlie Whiten and Eduardo Freitas. As they inspected the track, went back to the FIA and told them that and then the FIA approached the circuit's directors and people who maintain it and said, okay, these changes need making. The track have done that, and we are looking at a potential return to Portugal. Now, I'm certainly up for a Portuguese Grand Prix, definitely. I do want to see more classic races kind of come back into the sport. I think Portugal is one of those Grand Prix where it was... to be fair, I don't really know how good it was. A lot of people do say that we do need a return to Portugal. We do need a return to... I think Estoril has been a very popular destination, but perhaps let's give it a try to Algarve. Let's see what it can do. I think the track is also interested in hosting F1 testing, should it not get a place on the F1 calendar. And I think MotoGP is another one of them targets. So let's see what happens within the future. But I'm interested to see a racing return to Portugal. It's been a while since we've been there. 1996, 23 years to be exact. My age, in fact. I'm more than interested of seeing Portugal return to the F1 calendar. More the merrier, but of course that should mean that some more races should be knocked off the calendar. I mean, Russia, France, Abu Dhabi, perhaps them three, just name off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure you guys could name many more in the comment section below. But yeah, let us know. What do you think? Do you think Portugal should return to Formula One? Let us know in the comment section below. Elsewhere, the Mercedes breathing aid device has been made freely available and has just started to be delivering its orders to, the countries that have ordered these particular devices. Last week, Mercedes announced that they were going to be taking part in a mission called Project Pit Lane. I think them and 7 other Formula One teams were getting involved, using their factories and as facilities to try and do some research into try and battle this COVID-19. That, of course, is putting the entire world on halt, and a number of people have sadly died of this, and even more others are infected as we speak. So it is good, and to be fair, in a way, it does make you proud to become a Formula One fan, to say, right, okay, this sport is doing a lot and using a lot of its technology to help countries out. One country in particular, which is of course the UK, where we're from, the government here have ordered 10,000 of these devices, which before I was recording this, I didn't know that they actually started delivering it, but turns out that they are. So, and then before I started reading all this out, I've got to notate that are a bit out of date, because I've just seen somewhere else that they have actually started delivering them, which is absolutely incredible. 1,000 devices have been made per day over at Brixworth and of course elsewhere across the world, and many other countries have inquired about these, and like I said, have started just dispatching all these breathing aids. Now the device is a CPAP, which stands for continuous positive airway pressure. We covered a little bit of this in the last F1 24/7, and basically the machine works by pushing a mixture of air oxygen into the mouth and nose at a stable pressure, which keeps the airways open and increase the amount of oxygen supplied to the bloodstream. Now that was a quote by gptoday.net, and of course, as always, all the links to these articles will be left in the description below, so you can go and have a read of them, and of course give credit to the right publicators. So definitely this is something that I'm proud of, and a lot of people are as well. And Ron Dennis also this week set up a charity where he's sending out free meals to the NHS staff, who of course working very hard over here in the UK to try and save as many lives as they possibly can because of this COVID-19, and they are doing an absolutely incredible job. So if you are one of those people who are, whether you're in the UK or all over the world, whether you're a nurse or people who are nurses and doctors who are on the front line, putting their lives at risk, basically, aren't they? And hopefully we can get some tests done for them, because there are no tests at the moment for frontline staff. But of course, if you do know them, then and if you are one as well, then of course, brilliant what you are doing. Thank you so much. Just keep doing what you're doing. Really do respect. And hopefully we can fight this disease. We're relying on them. We are in safe hands. We really are. So next up, Sebastian Vettel was a bit immature in 2008. They're not my words. They are words of former Ferrari chairman Luca Di Montezemolo, who told Sky Italia this week that they considered signing the young German for 2009. Now, as we know, 2008 was a big year for Sebastian Vettel. You know, it was his first full season in Formula One at Toro Rosso. He won the Italian Grand Prix, becoming the youngest ever race winner at the time, of course. And of course, that's been beaten by Max Verstappen. And he was quite close to be going to Ferrari. It was actually Michael Schumacher who wanted Sebastian Vettel at the Scuderia, as he was a fan of this driver before his Toro Rosso days. So Schumacher was telling De Montezemolo, look, I would like to see this guy. I like his style at Ferrari. Then Ferrari kind of considered this, you know, going forward. At the time, they had Kimi Raikkonen and Felipe Massa on their books. However, they decided, because Vettel was a bit immature, as I quote from De Montezemolo, they decided to wait an extra year and sign Fernando Alonso in 2010. Now, my first reaction when I seen this was Vettel has dodged a bullet. He really, really has. You look at Ferrari's progress from the duration that Alonso was there between 2010 and 2014. If Vettel had went to Ferrari in 2009, he would have not won a single world championship. Now, that is quite scary to say the least, because Ferrari have not been the best team in that duration. I think 2010, I could say that they had the best car. Of course, it didn't really work out, unfortunately. Red Bull were just on a different level in 2010. Race pace wasn't that good, but qualifying pace was second to none, if I'm honest. I think they took every pole position bar 4, I think, in 2010, out of a 19 race calendar that year. But I think if Vettel had went to Ferrari, then yeah, he would have not have. I don't think he would have done a better job than what Alonso would have done. Probably about the same, perhaps. Maybe in 2010, he would have been in the hunt. 2011, again, he won maybe even 2 Grand Prix, perhaps, in 2011. 2012, how would have he done in that car? For me, I think Alonso, to be fair, it's even to this day, how did Alonso do well in that 2012 car? Because it was an absolute pile of, you know. And yeah, and again, I don't think Vettel would have done a better job in that car. 2013, the car was better. Again, Vettel would have done, 3-4 wins perhaps. Then 2014, yeah, let's not even discuss that. But now, as we know, Ferrari, they've had the chances, but of course, it just isn't. They are nowhere near where they need to be. And from what I was hearing before, everything was stopped in 2020. That they weren't happy with the car, so yeah, maybe more misery to come for Ferrari. But yeah, it would have been odd. It would have been. Yeah, I think Vettel definitely was better off staying at Red Bull. I mean, it's good saying that in hindsight, but maybe Ferrari would have got the act together. Maybe Vettel would have done better than Alonso. But in my opinion, sitting right here, I don't think he would have. In my opinion, he is a good driver. And of course, Alonso is. But if Alonso can't win a title at Ferrari, then I don't see Vettel doing the same during that duration, of course, where Alonso was there. But yeah, let us know in the comment section below. Do you think Vettel would have done better than Alonso? Do you think Vettel would have won a championship in a Ferrari in 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013? But in my opinion, I think he definitely made the right. I think Ferrari, good that they didn't sign him. Vettel staying at Red Bull definitely worked out for Vettel in his career. And our last story is a bit of a happy one, to say the least. As we all know, Daniel Ricciardo is one of the funniest guys on the Formula 1 grid. He's very, very popular. We all love him. He always makes us smile. And one of the things that associates well with Daniel Ricciardo is the shoey. Now, if you're not too familiar with the shoey, because let's face it, it's been a while since Ricciardo was on the podium, he basically, whenever he's on the podium, he takes off his shoe that he's worn for, all day, basically, ever since arriving to the track. So you can imagine how sweaty his feet are. Of course, being in the car, very, very hot conditions. Very, very wet, sweaty. Yeah, not very nice. He takes his shoe off, pours the champagne into his shoe, and drinks out of it. Ugh. Yeah. To be fair, I have actually done it. Not by Ricciardo standards, but I've done it with my own shoe, which I can't find the video. I was trying to find it before I started recording, but yeah, I can't find it. If I do find it though, then of course follow us at F1_DS16 on Twitter, and I might try and put it up if I can find it. sometime soon. But yeah, he first did the shoe back in Germany 2016. And ever since then, the likes of Lance Stroll, Nico Rosberg, Gerard Butler, and Sir Patrick Stewart have all fell victim to the shoey. He kind of introduced it to make Formula One a bit of a fun place, because when he joined, he was saying, "Oh, it was a bit boring. It was a bit, how do you put it? It was very strict, formal, up front, and he wanted to make it a more fun place, and he has definitely done that. He's achieved that. However, he wants to get Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton to do the shoey one day if he ever does make a return to the podium. Now, he's saying that Vettel and Lewis are very hygienic, that they would never do that. But to be fair, if you look in Ricciardo's eyes and he's fluttering your eyelids at you, I'm pretty sure if I was Vettel or Lewis, I would definitely take that shoe and drink champagne out of that shoe. But to be fair, no, that's not for me personally. I would never do that. Of course, out of my own shoe, yeah, that's fair enough, but not out of someone else's shoe. That would be very disgusting. So yeah, so hopefully Daniel Ricciardo can make a return to the podium, get the shoey on the go again, which would be incredible to see. It's been a while. And yeah, would you do the shoey? Would you drink out of someone else's shoe, especially Daniel Ricciardo's? Would you drink out of your friend's shoe? Yeah, let us know in the comment section below. It would be very interesting. But guys, so this is where I'm going to end F1 24/7. Thank you so much for listening. And of course, as like I said earlier, all the articles to today's stories will be in the description below. So go and give them a read. This week we've got the debate show coming out as normal. Last week we had the late breaking boys out, or the late breaking boys on for F1 Online Decoded. And of course, we've got some really good videos coming up in the future. A new series is starting very, very soon, so watch yourselves for that one. And we've also got a Q&A coming out for this week's debate show. Some of you guys have sent in some questions, and we're going to answer them on Saturday, so hopefully to see you there. But anyways, guys, watch what you're doing. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're new around here. And until next time, we'll see you later.